Look, we talked about data operability at the start, and it is really important. Lots of businesses will have proprietary solutions, and it's important that our data has the ability to feed into these solutions to help enrich. And to talk about just this, I'm delighted to be able to welcome up Jordan Reddington from Havas, who's Data Product Director.
Hi guys, I'm here to talk you through a journey we've been on at Havas over the past few years, trying to navigate the ever more increasingly complex world of the media landscape and to build a product called Converge, which is designed to help our clients face into the future in a way which can overcome any of those obstacles foreseen or unforeseen, and also just to lift the lid about Ipsos as a data partner and also a more broader strategic partner, helping us, really enrich our capability in our media. So we wanted to build a product that is fit for future. And one of the recognitions as we speak to our tens of clients each day is that the world of media is convoluted, complex and disconnected. Clients which may start with rich panel-based, insight-based audiences try to activate against these and rely on proxies, data integrations, limitations around restrictions, privacy, etc. And you become quite reliant upon proxies, inferences, or trying to translate rich data into context, keyword, or affinity signals. It's quite difficult for clients to navigate this world day to day. Not a lot of them have infrastructure that can, or expertise that can fully navigate or leverage all of the capability that exists in the marketplace. Another observation that we sort of recognize is that the world is becoming more algorithmic, black box, and walled in its nature, particularly in the media landscape. The speed of audience to activation and the amount of effort required is decreasing. So we wanted to create something that leverages the future power of AI, but also leaves a place for human intelligence, creativity, and innovation in the media cycle in a way which can adopt AI, but have a counterbalance that can ensure that all of us still have a contributing factor and a role in media. The solution we developed at Havas is called Converged. Converged is our umbrella brand for all of the tools, tech, data, and innovation that sits within Havas Media Group. We've launched it at Cannes as our official brand, but there is within it a whole suite of intelligence and capability that allows our clients to navigate future media and ensure that our media remains meaningful. If you think back to the first sort of diagram I showed you around how to connect media from audience to activation in the modern world, Converge tries to put that all under one roof. Our intelligence module is where we've amalgamated the best data sets on the marketplace into a unified version of the truth to allow for a 360 view of audiences and to build sophisticated intelligence. Those audiences are then created and pushed into a decision science toolkit, which leverages the latest in decision science and AI to build 28 tools that translate media into value and drive better outcomes for our clients. This then is activated in our proprietary platform that uses the latest in NLM and NLP programming to translate previously untargetable attributes into actual cohorts and buys them in an algorithmic model, which encourages clients to branch out of the lowest common denominator of targeting into a multi-buy approach, which is informed by the data model, which then optimizes in-flight to deliver better media outcomes in real time. And we've seen across 400 campaigns, on average, 63% uplift versus BAU in in-flight testing across various industries, platforms. But what we're trying to do is create a in one place connected product that clients can navigate into each of the modules individually, or the fully connected solution that tries to solve the problem of that disconnected, convoluted world of media and the landscape that they are trying to reach. Our focus today is on the intelligence module and what we call our unified audience view, and our journey to amalgamate the best data sources from across the marketplace into a single source of truth. So the world of sort of media is more complex. The amount of signals that you have to navigate as a brand are ever increasing and ever diversifying, from short-term signals such as in-market and recency signals to long-term, deeper, richer signals that give you understanding of audiences across a longer time frame, to get the best media outcomes, you have to amalgamate together those variety, depth of signals into a single source of truth. Our ambition was, in fact, to go a little bit further and create the most comprehensive audience data set in the UK. We wanted to do this fundamentally because we know that operationally, a lot of the world of marketeers is spent dipping into platforms like Ipsos Iris, GWI, TWI, YouGov, Barb, etc., trying to amalgamate in a lovely sort of presentation or strategy the full picture of our audiences and their day-to-day lives. The reality is that's built on sand, because once you try to then activate that, optimize that, or bring that to life through strategy, targeting, or planning, you suddenly become quite restricted. So we modeled 6 data universes that we wanted to connect together in a single platform. We wanted to know a deep understanding of who people are, real people. So we looked at demographic, psychographic, life events, attitudinal, behavioral data sources. We then want to overlay brand perception and understand how people feel about brands. Look at geo and search data, and then purchase data, media consumption, and of course, web browsing and social listening signals. All of this, we feel, gives us a fully complete view of our consumers' and audiences' lives, no matter what the context or environment, and overcomes the need, if you generate a single source of truth, that people have to try to stitch together different signals from different platforms that are fundamentally limited in what they do. We also thought we'd go a little bit further and take a stance. We wanted to build a data set based on people, not IDs. This was built around the time that cookieless was coming in. Also, transitions around walled gardens, privacy environments, GDPR, etc., etc. The list is ongoing. But rather than try to build an alternative cookie or try to leverage, other solutions like contextual signals, we wanted to try fundamentally build something based off people. That meant we could be fully cookieless and future-proof. So we chose partners like Ipsos Iris and Ipsos that are in that space and that can future-proof as they have longevity. And also, we wanted to do something where we could start with rich panel-based or rich qualitative audiences and translate them to targetable reality, which overcomes the disconnect most of our clients face, where they've built a personas, segmentation, robust audience model where they're being given a presentation with 100 slides about who that audience is, then can only target off context or keyword or affinity or etc. or interest, and they're very restricted. The outcome was a converged unified audience view, or UAV as I'll call it. The pretense is that every data set is in some way restricted or limited or flawed. If you're just using in-market signals or contextual signals, or if you're just using web data or media consumption data, you've got one piece of the media landscape jigsaw. Our aim was to amalgamate them together into a single source of truth. We partnered with YouGov based off our first objective that we wanted to build a data source which is based on people, not IDs, and future-proof. So we have a proprietary agreement that gives us access to YouGov's close to 400,000 respondents. We get to see their tens of thousands of attributes around what they think, feel, do, their life events, their attitudes, beliefs, values, and go much deeper into understanding who those people are. That's our seed base. That's our foundation on which we fuse together or amalgamate the different data sources. The first sort of overlay comes from Brand Index and Meaningful Brands. This gives us intent, sentiment, tracking, understanding, and various signals around how people feel about brands. We then overlay our Meaningful Brands survey, which is the proprietary survey, also run through YouGov, which gives us emotive factors, so we can understand sort of like the psychology of those people. Then we fuse on various other data sources to give a better outcome. So Amazon is around purchase intent signals, because that's quite light in YouGov. Google gives us store availability and store location, but also precision targeting through postal districts. Barb gives us media consumption. Brandwatch gives us more acute, recency, trending, emerging signals that are happening, which counterbalance the longevity of YouGov. And of course, UKOM endorsed Ipsos gives us user journeys, digital consumption, video, media, and all of the above. And we want to focus a little bit around how the partnerships with Ipsos has come together and how we kind of flip it on its head, because of course it is traditionally a measurement tool, but we're flipping it to sort of becoming at the audience stage. And can we use that audience insight amalgamated back to a YouGov panel to start to build audiences based off the data set, which is quite powerful and a little bit different to how some people might be navigating it today, but it kind of shows like the versatility of the data set. We identified Ipsos for a number of reasons. Obviously, it is the leader in its data capabilities and obviously sanctioned by UKOM. Furthermore, we've got a deep-rooted culture of people navigating Ipsos Iris in the agency, so it's quite a logical transition into our UAV. But of course, it gives us rich signals, browsing habits, video consumption. We understand journeys, which are quite limited in the media landscape. The depth of those journeys, the content, the engagement, the context, all sorts of things. We can even look at sort of the website behavior and say, is this right for a direct buy for one of our clients? The possibilities were diverse and endless, so that's why we partnered with Ipsos, and also, as mentioned, the future proof that we know that any sort of cookieless or transition is not going to make it go away, hopefully. What we wanted to do is test the power of being able to disconnect the Ipsos data out of the platform and get the raw data. That unlocks a whole host of power around being able to fuse that data set with other sources. So as I said, YouGov is our seed source, and it has a whole host of attributes, but Ipsos has a deeper panel and attributes and tracking that are measurement that isn't visible on YouGov. So our aim is to understand that because each panel has distinct attributes, the best solution is to amalgamate and to connect those two sets of attributes together to work towards a unified view of the customer. To do this, you need to do fusions. So fusions is how we get the full circle. Everything gets fused onto YouGov. It doesn't go downwards, so we're not adding more panelists, we're just adding the attributes onto the 400,000 people. So you're getting a richer data source as you go along. We know that we've got common identifiers between the two data sets. It could be demographics, it could be content, it could be occupational life events, etc. But we try to look at those signals as direct matches. There's also some similar attributes that you can kind of like weigh and refine and sort of infer and connect together using a bit of LLM processing, and you translate them into common identifiers. But we do this because it gives us a seed base that we can match the two data sets together and fuse the two data sets together to amalgamate all the intelligence between the two sources. And that essentially allows us to fuse on all of the rich insight that Ipsos gives us with YouGov. The reason that we do this is because it's a very powerful thing to be able to look at the measurement or digital engagement behavior of a user, then be able to relate that back to 60,000 data points about who they are, what they think, what they feel, what they do. So you can go so far with Ipsos, but when you start to enrich with YouGov, you start to contextualize intelligence in a way which wasn't possible previously. And that allows for a whole host of deep profiling, data mining, media capabilities, modeling enhancements, and beyond. But it's the power of unlocking that essentially allows us to view signals with context, and that's quite powerful from a storytelling perspective and an activation perspective. And our ambition is that we'll keep going. So Ipsos, Barb, TGI are three of the data sets we've gone through this fusion process, and we've got a roadmap into 2025, which is amalgamating the best sources to basically adapt to the fact that the world is always changing and the media landscape is always changing. So we need to fuse in better quality data sources. We need our clients to also adapt their data as well at the same time, but we should end it with the unified audience view, which meets our objective that it was the most comprehensive data set on the marketplace. So why do you build a UAV? You can make it look good in presentations and show loads of insights, so it's amazing, which clients love. But I liken it to buying a Porsche, not a Jaguar, if anyone knows that thing. But it's very easy to buy a Porsche. Driving it is a different thing. So how do you actually translate this data into value or a value chain throughout the business? So the power of the UAV is it fuels two things. These two things are interconnected. So at Havas, we talk about media experience. Of course, everyone's got a media cycle. Our USP is it becomes media experience. We've relaunched globally our MX cycle. The point of this is Converge powers the media planning strategy cycle across Havas. So the tools, tech, UAV insights are entwined in the planning process, frameworks, and outcomes. So it's a fully connected, true data-driven media experience approach. So we've gone through like 9 full-day sessions across the agency, teaching people to lift the bonnet on this thing called Converge, which is a Converge hub, and that powers our media across every bit of Havas, whether it's a massive campaign or a small campaign. The Converge platform that you see here is powered by our UAV. It's 28 tools that are amalgamated from some of the best data sets and tools in the platform or modeling methodologies. But the power of this is, if you think back to one of our earlier objectives, is to lift the lid or be transparent and offer transparency and accountability in an AI-driven marketplace. This is powered by AI, but we sit with clients and we consult them. We sit day to day and we lift the lid and we show them build an audience, profile it with 60,000 variables, challenge or reinforce their audience hypothesis, run it through a toolkit, activate it, optimize it, measure it, and back. The ability to actually lift the lid and show someone tangible that actually exists. I know a lot of people put like a media story together or like put like a data offering. This platform has been massive for us. We know that the world of media is going to change. The audience to activation is going to become more slicker, more automated and more efficient. So that middle bit of consultation strategy, intelligence and decisioning capability where we can take client relationships, navigate Converge and move them to more consultative and like growth initiatives is massively important in terms of like the future of our agency and navigating what the future of our roles may become if we're spending less time uploading creatives, doing dynamic creatives, segmenting, targeting and beyond. So I think it's a more broadly a really important like future linchpin in terms of like what the roles of media might become within an agency. This powers a series of things. The first thing is audience maturity. We've built over 450 audiences for our clients over the past year, getting some from demographic targeting to intent targeting, or some people moving them all the way to these wonderful audience walls that you see for clients. This stimulates a whole host of discussions. A lot of clients' audience hypotheses are contradicted or enriched, but we have an active process where we move clients on in terms of audience maturity from the data sources we have within the UAV. And this has been massively powerful for both our existing and new clients and helping them unlock the power of intelligence, because none of our clients have a UAV. They've got one piece of the jigsaw. We try to give them the rest. The next generation of audience, we believe, sits in propensity. For those clients further on in data maturity, they're not bothered if it's a ABC1 or someone that's intent on buying a car. They just want to know the 30% of their personas or population that are going to buy their product based off 60,000 signals. We can now model, based off the strength of the Ipsos data and the various data sources, lookalikes of the probably richest data set. So we're getting high degree of accuracy. And this idea where we're taking people's personas and saying only 20% of your persona is likely to buy you is massively moving things on from a client perspective. As mentioned, we are leveraging the latest in decision science toolkit, a whole host of attributes that we can do, growth driver levers, competitor mapping, geo-targeting, but again, just leveraging decision science. The cherry on the top is this AI, NLP, algorithmic, whatever buzzword you want to use, activation engine. Everyone had personas, everyone had rich audience understanding. People struggle to activate them, particularly as the amount of targetable attributes you've had have decreased over the past however many years. What we do is when we build an audience, we look at all 60,000 behaviors or attributes that audience has, and we start to bucket them using NLP into cohorts. We find that yes, you may be the lowest common denominator of targeting. So you might be in market for a kitchen, but you'll also be a pop music fan. And the strength of our model is understanding how important those two factors are in identifying your audience. And that means that the lowest common denominator targeting might not always be the best. So if you're looks, you might not always target like ultra high net worths. You might target wine tasters. But the depth of reliability from the UAV allows us to activate multiple audiences to find the most efficient or cost-effective for their KPI. Then we push it into our media partners. Some are already onboarded, some may be in the room. Some are going to be onboarded shortly. Someone that just spoke will be onboarded shortly, I believe. Yeah, so this gives us a lot of power, and it's changing the way we target. Then the algorithm makes real-time optimizations based off those cohort recommendations and drives better media outcomes. And the final piece is there's always been like two bodies of media. You've got your big, heavy, pre-planned media buying. Then you've got your small, agile, marketing automation, trigger-based reactive comms. The world of marketing automation, CRM, first-party data, CDPs, has always been disconnected from the world of media buying. Through the fusions and through the UAV and enhancements in clean rooms like YouGov and matching methods, we're able to connect the world of media buying down to marketing automation. So those two always sat in a juxtaposition, but now they're connected, and you can integrate insight from the UAV into marketing automation, or you can put insight back from marketing automation and CDPs into media buying. I liken it to the marketing equivalent of unifying physics, the celestial bodies of general relativity, which is the big heavy media buying, with the quantum mechanics of marketing automation. But the reality is, again, marketing automation platforms can do media buying, right? So this is a really exciting journey that Bede in the room is leading. But we think this is super powerful and further increases the power and reliability that agencies have within media more broadly. In terms of the future, we feel that it's important to continue to navigate the best data sets. There'll be new signals, new technologies, new tools. We don't know where generative AI, etc. will land, so we're always going to have to adapt. So we'll seek to look for new data partners, both in the UAV and the activation platform, to keep adapting to the industry. We had a discussion earlier that there seems to be a new audience to activation platform every week in the industry, or someone trying to do the same thing. It's important we work together and we build on that. We also look for our partners like Ipsos to continue to evolve, like they have done with video or YouTube measurement, to the adaptation in the industry and work with us. And we don't know where generative AI will land long term, or the coming wave of AI will land, but we feel we've made some decisions that future-proof people, put humans at the heart of media, but also navigate the world that's coming. So, yeah, thank you.